And welcome to our community. Suzie Thomas with you this morning, welcoming Joel Daniel Harris. You know him from Tom Todd, Tomorrow Today, and
right.
Was recently with us, but you're here for entirely different reasons now this morning, telling us about United Way Young Leaders and what they're involved with. First of all, what are the United Way Young Leaders?
Yes, so United Way Young Leaders Society is a brand new initiative of United Way Stark County. And as I understand it, that there's Young Leader Society in different places, but this one's sort of specific to the area here. And it's folks under 45 that are very interested in saying, how can we invest in our community? Monetarily, through our generosity, but really also through our community service and through saying, how do we work together to help this space thrive? Because Stark County is full of wonderful communities doing good things, but we've got a lot to overcome as well.
Is this an outgrowth of the 20 under 40 that they recognize every year, that United Way maybe thought, let's tap into some of these people, not just thank them and give them an award, but then recruit them to help us do some more things?
Yeah, so Y Stark, who is with the Canton Regional Chamber of Commerce, runs 20 under 40, and several of the folks from 20 under 40 are involved in this, but they're separate initiatives. But really, there's a lot of folks in Canton and throughout Stark County that are trying to do a lot of good work, and this is just one group. And so they've got a number of different initiatives that they're doing. Hoodies for the holidays coming up in December, where it's connecting local students that want to go to college or university with a hoodie from that school as a sort of encouragement, like, you can do this, you can get there. And then soup, which is a little bit of what we're going to talk about today as well.
All right. Well, as you say, the faces are the same. It's the young, but you are seeing these new young leaders. We've heard about the brain drain, but not everybody has evacuated Stark County. There's a lot of great 20-somethings, 30-somethings that are hanging around and making our community great. So we are going to be finding out what you're up to today. Tell us about soup.
Yeah, so soup actually is not an original idea to the area here. This is being done in other communities, I think most notably in Detroit, but also Youngstown, Cleveland, Columbus all have soup programs. And I think actually I just saw an article the other day about one over in England. So it's becoming an international phenomenon. But the basic idea is saying, how can we get a bunch of people together for an evening to hear and share creative ideas that can help a community to really grow together and support each other? And then how can we maybe even give a little bit of funding to those ideas to see it go into motion? So think sort of like Kickstarter, online crowdfunding sort of thing meets community potluck, neighborhood block party, all wrapped up into one.
What a brilliant idea. Does soup stand for something, or there just will be soup served? And will there be soup served?
Yeah, soup stands for what will be served. So,
okay.
So the basic the concept of what tangibly happens is that we're inviting whoever wants to come. They come join us. There's going to be 3 different soups in 2016. The first one in January, on January 24th. And people come. They get paid $10 to get in the door. And for that $10, they get soup and salad and bread, all from local diners and places. So Basil Asian Bistro is a huge supporter, and they're making a great donation to this. Deli Ohio as well, and others are involved in getting the food there. So you come in during dinner, you're going to hear 4 pitches that are each going to be 4 minutes each. And it's people telling the story of a really great idea that they have that they think can help transform our community. And then at the end of dinner, everybody's going to take their spoon and they're going to vote for whichever idea that they think is the best. And that idea is going to walk out of that night with all of the income that you paid to get in the door, because everything's being donated in kind.
So we need a lot of folks to turn out so that there's a nice reward for the person who came up with the best idea. Now, you're going to have 3 of these throughout the year. And you are presenting 4 ideas at each of them, or can somebody who might have a great idea that isn't chosen at the first one in January, can they bring that back for the second one and be considered again? How does this work?
Can you come back for seconds? That's it. So Each one is being sort of centered around one of United Way's different building blocks. So they have 3 primary building blocks that they purpose all of their programming around: income, healthcare, and education.
So each of these ideas would be about something different.
So in January, each one of the 4 ideas that are presented are centered around these income ideas. And so that means that we're looking at job creation, vocational development, family resourcing, and family stability. Income, if you think about it, really encompasses a whole lot of things. So while it might seem, well, that's kind of limiting, on the other hand, it's really opening it up in a lot of ways as well. And then in April will be the next soup, and it's on April 17th. And that one's going to be all focused around health and issues around health.
You're going to resolve all the healthcare stuff, are you? Awesome.
Fix it. And
that's great.
No, so anything from, healthy living, gardening, any exercise, activities. So that sort of all falls into the April one. And then in August, on August 14th, that will be our 3rd soup in 2016. That will be around education. So right as the school year is getting ready to get geared up and get going, we'll have that one sort of rolling out. So anything, it doesn't have to be in school, but if it relates to education, that's the one that those ideas will be being pitched at.
Have the ideas already been selected that are going to be pitched? If there's someone listening saying, I've got a great education idea, how do they contact you, or is it too late for this year?
No, we would love to hear everyone's ideas. And each one will have its own open application period. So the applications for income are up right now, and you can access them through December 11th is the application deadline for that first soup. And then there'll be an application deadline connected to each of the other 2 soups as well as we get closer to those.
Okay, so for job creation or anything having to do with income, personal or community or otherwise, through December 11th. December 11th. And how do they do this?
Yeah, this is what's really exciting to me about this, is that it's totally accessible. So if you're just sitting at home and you're like, I have a great idea, but I'm not an organization, I'm not a nonprofit, I don't own a business, I don't have resources, you're the sort of person that we want to hear from. If you're sitting at your office and you're hearing this and say, I am a business, I'm a nonprofit, I do these things, you're also the person we want to hear from. It's wide open. There aren't sort of a long list of requirements. A lot of grants are so much work to get in the door, even to be considered. And we're trying to sort of really lower that so we can open up creativity and help people to really have access. So you go to the website, which is United Way's website. It's UW-Stark, the www.uwstark.org. And under the events tab, you'll find all things soup related. If you want to go to it, the short way is uwstark.org/stark-soup-2016. But if you can't remember all that, just go to uwstark.org and you'll be set to go.
And find it and click on it.
That's right.
Okay, so you are actually looking for 2 kinds of people right here. People who have great ideas and people who want a fun night out to go hear these great ideas and vote. And that is wide open to everyone as well?
That's right, absolutely. And, the other thing that to me seems to be the best part of this whole concept is, I think it's great. Someone's going to walk away with, $1,000 or more towards an idea that that they think they can get into motion. But it's going to be the conversations and the community that happens in that room that night. I mean, just think you've got a bunch of people that share a common interest in seeing their community thrives, but maybe they don't get the chance to interact usually. We sort of all have our little patterns of life that we walk through, and this is a chance for all those patterns to intersect and to be inspired, hear some real creative thinking, and then, there's going to be 3 ideas that don't get the microgrant funding that night, but that doesn't mean that there won't be people in the room that won't be interested in saying, well, I want to be a part of that. I can bring this in-kind donation to the table. I can bring this larger than $10 check to the table. I can, so I think that there's going to be a lot of ways to work around that and to see a lot of great ideas sort of spring up. And it's not just about the idea that wins, though that's going to be awesome. We're going to celebrate that, but it's also going to be about the community that's being created.
Now, who narrows it down to just 4 ideas?
Yeah, so there's a whole committee of folks that's been working on this behind the scenes to bring it to the area here. So United Way Young Leaders Society has been sort of right at the helm of it, and they've been working hard to do this. And then from United Way Young Leaders Society, there's sort of a subcommittee of us that are working on about 10, 12 folks that have been trying to work out the logistics, getting the application up and running, getting the word out. So I'm part of that committee, and then we've got a whole bunch of other folks. So the ideas will come in. We'll put them through a whole sort of rubric system where we're really looking for creative, thoughtful, interesting, intriguing. We're looking for things that help communities thrive. We're looking for it to really connect to that theme in some way. So we're trying not to put too many boundaries on it, but we want to be inspired.
So you do want to think sky's the limit, but you also want to think practically. Tell me what a winning idea would look like.
I'm really interested to see what a winning idea is going to look like, honestly. But I think that we want to see something that makes us sort of tilt our head a little bit and say, I wouldn't have thought about that before. And we also want to see things, I call it the common good. What helps our neighbor to succeed, whether that is a neighbor right next door or in our neighborhood association or our neighbor that lives in the city that we play football against on Friday nights, or whatever that is that we're looking out for the betterment of others. And so we're really trying to focus in on ideas that look for those sorts of concepts.
Okay, and to go to this, remind us how you get tickets. Is it pay at the door, and where is this taking place?
Oh, that's a great question. So we are hosting this first one here at Basil Asian Bistro, which is in downtown Canton. Now, I should be clear, it is Stark Soup, and so while we're pumped for people from Canton to apply and participate, it's open to anyone that's in the United Way Stark County service area. So that's a lot of listeners. Mm-hmm. And so at Basil Asian Bistro, we have about 100 seats that will be available for that first one, and they're on a first come, first serve basis, and we are expecting a sellout. So what we would encourage you to do is to get there a little bit early that night to make sure that you can enjoy hanging out and meeting other people, but also actually get inside to hear these great ideas.
So 100 people can get in. $10 a person. That's a $1,000 prize for the winning idea.
Yep.
So you get to be the judge on Shark Tank is what you get to do.
That's right.
Basically.
Well, hopefully a friendlier judge, but absolutely. You get to really be involved in something right at its startup. We're not just going to fund a program that's always been going for, decades and decades. I don't want to confine us, but we really are interested in things that are intriguing, that are different, that are helping people to launch something new and to get a new thing going.
In 4 minutes. Each person has to be able to water it down to a 4-minute presentation.
A 4-minute pitch, no slides, no multimedia, just it's going to be stand and deliver. But we're excited to see and hear even more, what folks bring to the table.
Really? No audio visuals at all? No pictures? No demonstration?
Yeah.
It's got to just be spoken?
Yeah, because we want to make sure that everyone sort of has a level playing field. We don't want, someone who has maybe more resources to be able to hire out a really great keynote presentation or something like that. But we want to hear from people's hearts what it is that they want to do to transform their city, their community.
I should remind everyone, we're talking to Joel Daniel Harris from Tom Todd, and this time not working with middle schoolers on their ideas, but rather working with all the community to come up with some great ideas on either income, which will take place January 24th, healthcare, which will take place April 17th, and education, which will take place August 14th. You can go to I'll say that again, uwstark.org to find out all the information. And taking place, the first one will be at Basil, downtown across from the Palace Theater. I think that's everything for that. Stay with us. We've got more with Joel Daniel Harris after this. You're listening to Our Community.